What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome to Hot. So I got a Dutch oven here. Getting ready to put my fats in. So I'm going to start out with bacon fat and salted butter. You're going to notice throughout this, I'm going to add some olive oil in. I think I do it right about... No, I couldn't even get there. But anyway, I'm adding olive oil in because it's a higher burning temp. And that's nice because you get the flavor of the butter and the bacon fat, but the high burning temp of the olive oil. So you kind of marry them together. Adding in some onion. For me, it was one big onion. For you, it could be whatever. You want to get about 2 cups once you chop them all up. And I'm just kind of lathering them up in this lubricated situation. 4 bell peppers are next. Use whatever you have. So I had some green peppers and some red peppers. If you have orange or yellow, whatever, I like as much as possible for that kind of confetti color throughout. I'm adding garlic salt, and you'll notice throughout this, I'm going to add regular kosher salt. You're going to salt in the beginning, in the middle, and the end to taste. You want it to be really nice and flavorful, and salt's going to be the backbone of everything else we put in here. So if you don't salt it correctly, you're not going to have a great outcome. And what's the point of doing all this work if you're not going to have a great outcome, right? You want chili that makes them say, ooh. That was so stupid. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I'm putting salt throughout this whole process. And now we're just kind of sweating it out. And that's really just kind of getting a nice translucent situation from our onions, getting our peppers nice and soft, but you still want some constitution to them. You don't want them to be completely just worthless. So cook them down, let it happen, add salt the entire time, add olive oil the entire time to keep it nice and lubricated, but nothing too crazy. He said from underneath a blanket in his kitchen. If you can hear my dishwasher, I'm really sorry. This is my first video, so I'll get better, hopefully, at this. Anyway, constantly move this stuff around. Let it cook, let it set, let it get hot, but also make sure you're cognizant. You don't want anything to burn. I'm doing this on an induction cooktop, but you can do it on whatever you have. Anyway, kind of keeping a nice, consistent situation. 4 poblano peppers are next, and these guys are charred, roasted, and then chopped. You're going to leave as much seed and membrane as heat. So for me, there's a little bit because I want some heat just to round out my flavor. But my chili is for everyone. I'm making this for a crowd. So you don't want it overly hot, and you don't want to be so pansy that if you like something hot, you're not getting any of that heat you're craving. And you can constantly see this stuff just kind of sweating down, extruding as much flavor as humanly possible. We're going to add 2 pounds of ground beef next. This is 80-20, so you want to make sure there's some decent fat content. This isn't a time for like sirloin or something with like a really lean ground beef. You want something that's got some fat so that it can hold up to this high heat. Again, add in more salt in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. All right, next is sausage. Cooked through. I did a pound of mild, and I'm going to do a pound of hot next. You'll see that. This is a place where you get to pick what you put in there because it's truly important that it's what you want. Again, this is for a crowd, so I'm going for a medium heat. If you like a really spicy situation, then do 2 pounds of hot. Do the hottest hot you've ever seen in your life. This is completely up to you. It's going to completely depict the outcome of your chili. So if you want something spicier or hotter, this is game day. So I'm trying to do all this stuff to help you get ready for the Super Bowl. I want something that everyone's going to like. Now, this is the thing that makes my chili a little different from others. I put actual like chunks of meat in there. So this is some chuck. This is, again, a place you don't want a really expensive cut of meat. I'm going to cook my chili and let it simmer. I actually like it better even the next day after it simmered for an entire day. So I'm going to put like not a super nice cut of meat. You want something that's just decent, like a stew meat that's gonna be able to cook down. Now I seared this beforehand with Montreal steak seasoning, which you'll find out is one of my favorite kind of steak seasonings, and some olive oil. I want to sear the outside so that, again, I'm keeping that constitution. I'm keeping the integrity of the meat while making it super tender. All right, it's time for the spice bomb. I'm gonna start out with cumin. Again, this is a place for you to play with the spices. If you don't like my contributions, change them up. But I'm going to use some smoked cumin. You can use regular. It's not a big deal. And then coriander, which a lot of people don't know, but that is what cilantro comes from. So coriander is a nice, like, limey, citrusy, bright, acidic note that you can add through seasoning. So it's good. And then 2 different types of paprika. Some smoked paprika and then some sweet paprika. If all you have is sweet paprika, add some liquid smoke in there. If you don't like a smoky flavor, just use sweet paprika. If you love paprika, use a ton more than I did. And then some chili powder. Again, as much or as little as you want, as many different kinds as you want. I'm just using a nice basic chili powder that I like a lot. Next is onion powder, kind of just introducing that onion flavor. And then some more garlic salt. Again, you can use minced garlic. It burns easily, and I don't think it makes a ton of difference. I like the granulated stuff. It's cheaper, and I don't have to sit there and break down tons of garlic. Not my jam. And then a little bit of black pepper, just cuz. Some cayenne pepper, and then I'm going to do some crushed red pepper. Again, this is another opportunity for you to be the boss. So make it as hot or as not hot as you want. If you don't like any heat, then leave the pepper out. If you like a lot of heat, then double it. I probably, if I was making this for myself, would probably use about twice as much of the pepper at the end. But I'm making this again for a crowd. My nieces will be around. They don't want a super spicy chili, and they love my chili, so I don't want to take that away from them. Now it's time to deglaze. So I'm gonna say 1 can of good local beer. Again, whatever it is that is your local, then use. This is from a brewery locally called Chapman's. It's based out of Angola, Indiana. And this is their Klausch. There's a train going by right now. I'm leaving it. Anyway, this is their Klausch. You want it to be light. You've got a ton of flavor happening. So again, you don't want like anything that's overpowering unless you want it to be overpowering. So if you love a huge beer flavor in your chili, then be my guest. Use all of the beer in the entire world. I'm using a can. It's a big can though. So I think it's like a 16-ounce can. Next, we're going to add some chicken stock. More or less is what I put, and that's because this is where you pick. I like a really thick chili, so my chili, when it's in the refrigerator before I heat it back up the next day, it's almost solid, like it's super solid. So if you like a really thin chili, then this would be a time for you to add even more chicken stock. 4 cups, I guess. Up to you. Now we're going to add some tomato paste. I love a tomatoey flavor, like a rich tomatoey situation, but I don't love when there's so much red sauce that it makes it too runny. So I use a ton of tomato paste, actually 2 cans worth of tomato paste. But you do you, again. And then 1 large can of tomato sauce. That's to give me some rich red color, obviously to back up that tomato paste flavor. There's something like kind of acidic and canny tasting about tomato puree for me for some reason. I don't know why, because sauce is in a can too, but I always feel like tomato sauce has like a fresher situation. I guess you can make your own tomato sauce. I don't think it matters though. All right, so that's the last little bit of liquid, and then we're gonna add our beans. Again, you don't have to add any beans. If you hate beans, add 0 beans. If you love beans, add 12 times as much as I did. Add any kind of bean you want. I'm doing a can of red kidney beans and then some black beans, but you can do whatever you want. Again, do you. I even accidentally put garbanzo beans in my chili once, and it didn't hurt anything. It was still delicious, and it gave me some nice support to the rest of the situation. So come on, we're gonna rub all this stuff together. Just use your spoon, combine it well, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom of your pan, and you're gonna reduce your heat. You don't want your chili to burn. That burn flavor will go through everything. So as it simmers, I'm gonna stir it. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm going to be consistent with my stirring, like every 5 to 10 minutes. But I'm going to put it on, like I'm going to reduce the heat each time I stir a little bit, right? So by the end of it, as long as you have that simmer, see those little bubbles happening there? It's not a rapid boil, it's just a simmer. It's just working. I'm going to leave mine covered because I have as much moisture in there as I want. I don't want to lose it. So the lid on top is going to keep it in there. So the consistency at the end is what I want it to be. So as the chili richens up, I'm not going to lose a ton of moisture. And then I'm cleaning up. I wanted to put this in there because I feel like every time I'd watch food shows, they'd never make a mess, but they had to have made a mess. There's just someone else to clean it up. I clean it up here. And in fact, I use this induction top because it's easier to film, was the original reason. However, I gotta say, for stuff like this that can get real messy, it's so nice because now all I have to clean up is this. I've been able to clean the entire time off of my island. I don't have this huge mess at the end to clean up, where on my oven, a lot of times because it's hard to move around it, you can't. Here's my end product. I had sour cream, I had scallions, I had lime zest, I had cilantro, I had corn chips, and some cheddar cheese. I love a condiment, so you do you again. Here's the beautiful chili close-up. A nice, beautiful, rich red color. A lot of confetti kind of situation happening. And here's some real grainy footage of my end product. Anyway, I had mine with some white wine. But this would be a nice place to use the beer that you used inside your chili. And this is the first in what I hope to be a lot of game day favorites of mine. So, check me out. Hit me up. If you liked it, let me know. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll try to come at you with way more cool stuff.